So that's the thing is like all these people think that they need investors for their business, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't. Like you can bootstrap your business, which means use your own money to start it.
Yeah.
But the process might take a little bit longer, and you might not be able to do as much because if I've got $100 million investment for my business, I could hire a 100-person operation and pay everybody.
Yeah.
And then obviously 100 people working 8 hours a day on a thing is better than 2 people.
Yeah.
Working 8 hours a day or however much time you work in a day. So.
Welcome to the Just the Decision podcast, where we speak to our guests about the decisions they made in life, the good, the bad, the regrets, the decisions they're currently making, and the decisions they're going to make for the future. Subscribe, like, comment on the video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And remember, we're available on all streaming platforms. Welcome to the Just the Decision podcast, where we speak to our guests about the decisions they made, the good, the bad, the regrets. Today, I have the honor of introducing, I just met him today, Conor Dunn.
How's everybody doing? My name is Connor. I run a AI automation agency right in Pittman, New Jersey. We build AI software for companies, things like websites, dashboards, AI employees, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited to be on this podcast. Thank you for Mr. Decision for having me on today. It's a great pleasure, and I'm excited to talk.
We start the show with two questions.
Okay.
The first one is, what's your favorite dish and from where?
My favorite dish. Wow. So I guess this isn't technically a dish, but is pizza an acceptable answer?
Hey, people love pizza.
Shout out to Frank's Pizzeria in Washington Township. They make an amazing grandma pie. It's like a Sicilian pie, and it's like a different kind of sauce than like regular pizza sauce. It's amazing. It's my favorite. What was the other question?
No, we didn't get to it yet.
Okay.
Because sometimes people can go on and on about their favorite food. And then the second one is, someone gives you a blank check.
Okay.
Whatever number you write on it, it's going to cash.
Okay.
And your checking's not your savings. What's the first thing you'd spend it on?
The first thing I would spend it on, wow. That's a pretty loaded question. I mean, I would definitely have to say I would want to put it towards something useful. Maybe, I don't know. I would say I would maybe, start a business or put something towards my business with that money.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. To put it to something useful, turn it into something greater instead of just spending it all on, houses or cars or stuff like that.
That's cool. Long-term investment, like instead of like now, something that's gonna create income, not just spend it just because.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people get roped up into like materialism.
Yeah.
And buy things like cars, which are like depreciating assets, and then that's how a lot of people waste or lose all of their money.
Yeah.
Is not making smart decisions with what they've been fortunate enough to have in terms of money.
Yeah,
cash.
I think it's always crazy when they I hear stories about people that won the lottery,
Mhm.
but they're broke. And
Yeah,
you're
no,
like,
exactly.
what
Because
did you spend your money on?
because you didn't work for it, so it's kind of like you don't know how to manage it. You don't feel any sort of attachment to it compared to somebody who works 20 years to make their first $1 million or something like that.
Yeah.
They appreciate that money a lot more, and they want to put it towards something that's meaningful to them.
Yeah.
So that's my belief on it.
Cool. Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Washington Township. Went to Washington Township High School. I was born right in Sewell, New Jersey. So I lived here for my whole life, and yeah, that's about it.
Cool. How was it growing up in Washington Town?
It was good. I enjoyed going to school. I had a lot of friends. Met a lot of people who I still talk to this day, even
Nice.
being in college. And yeah, it was no complaints. Got a great education while I was young. My parents definitely harped on me about getting good grades in school, so starting to see that pay off now.
Cool. So you were studious?
Yeah, I was like a B average student. I think I had a 4.0 in high school. I'm not sure what it is now, but
Cool.
Yeah.
What was like? I guess, did your parents go to college? And
Yes. So both of my parents went to college. My mom went to Rutgers Camden, and then my dad went to University of California in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's like so it's called University of California, but I think
Okay.
it's in like Western PA by the mountains. It's like a
Gotcha.
smaller school, but
Okay.
yeah.
Is it branched off of California, or that's just the name of the school?
I'm not sure. It might be.
Okay.
But yeah, I honestly have no clue. I just know that's the name of it. Every time I mention that, people are like, "Oh, what is it? What is
Okay.
that?" They think California, but you know.
Cool. Growing up, like, was it you a only child or?
So I have a brother and a sister. So my brother is in the military. He's a infantry officer, and then my sister's also in school right now. She's a year younger than me. Yeah, she goes to Towson University
Okay.
in Maryland.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Um, what was like your dynamic growing up? Was it just like school focused, like you're gonna get an education,
Yeah,
or?
I mean, it was very school focused, but the one thing that I was very appreciative of with my parents was that even though like they always made sure that I did well in school, I was a good kid, I had good manners,
Mhm.
they still let me learn a lot about what I've learned in life so far, and they've
Mm.
always let me like make my own decisions and have given me that little bit of freedom. So, you know, I know this is all about decisions.
Yeah.
So I've made bad decisions, I've made good decisions, I've taken all kinds of risks, stuff like that. So, it's just one of those things that I'm grateful for because, without that, I think I wouldn't have learned the stuff that I've learned to get me up to this point.
Like that. Um, so growing up, are you like the oldest, middle, youngest?
So I'm right in the middle. My
Okay.
brother's older than me. He's like 4 years older than me, and then my sister is 1 year younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they all go through, like, even your parents, did they go to the Washington Township School
Yeah, so
District?
my all my siblings went through Washington Township. Yeah, my sister did well in school as well. My brother did well in school. But yeah, we all played sports growing up, so we
Okay.
had a pretty, organized kind of like structure going on with how we were raised.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was your brother a senior when you were a freshman?
Yes, yes,
Did,
that's
how,
correct.
how was that dynamic of this is his little brother or?
It's funny because, I played football in high school my freshman year, and
Okay.
then I really grew close to my brother when during wrestling season because
Mm,
he was a pretty good wrestler. Like
okay.
he like competed at the state level,
Oh wow.
and then going into my freshman year, he taught me a lot, even just not even just about like sports, but about life because
Mm,
he had 4 years of experience on me throughout
yeah.
high school. He taught me what to do, what not to do, how to not act like an idiot, like all that stuff. Cause, and that's important because I'm sure he made a lot of mistakes that he saved me from
Yeah.
making myself. So instead of having to learn the hard way, I got a little bit of a break,
Okay.
with him teaching me kind of the ropes of how things work.
Cool.
Yeah.
So like growing up, what are like some things you can recall that you were interested in, or was it like my brother did it, so I'm gonna do it?
So yeah, growing up, so me and my brother and I had a lot of mutual interests, especially with like wrestling and like working hard. But I was always interested in like finances,
Mm,
investing, and like business as a whole. And it's always kind of been my knack. Like I've started like a ton of online businesses that have failed before. I've made money from some I lost money.
hmm.
So it's just always kind of been my thing, like just trying to hustle to make some money. And now I'm here, I'm still doing the same exact thing. So hopefully what I'm doing now works out. But I that's just all it's I just love like the where I can kind of control things and kind of make my own luck and make my own outcomes of, what I'm currently doing as compared to like a job or something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where did that come from? Like, are your parents entrepreneurs
So
or?
I have some entrepreneurs in my family,
Mhm.
and like my business partner always says like it's in my blood. Like he tries to say I'm a natural born business person, but
Mhm.
no, my parents both work. They're very hardworking. They gave me a good upbringing, so they weren't entrepreneurs, but I can kind of see where the hustle comes from. Like my dad was a good wrestler, my grandfather was a good wrestler, so they've all really been like tough, hardworking people.
Yeah.
So
You gotta have a lot of grit to do
yeah, it's
wrestling.
wrestling's a tough sport. I mean, it was yeah, cutting weight, long
Yeah.
practices, just constantly being in the heat, trying to cut down that weight. It's rough. It's rough not eating all of that stuff. It
Yeah.
gets it gets pretty tough out
I think
there.
it's wild. I watch UFC here and there,
Yeah.
and when they're in the sauna, it just
Yeah.
like dying. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
that's not a god.
And yeah,
That
like
can't be
you'll
healthy.
see them go and like weigh themselves in, and they look so skinny. Like there's like a picture of like Conor McGregor out there
Mhm.
when he fought at like 145 pounds or something like
Wow.
that, and like he looked like ill. because of
Mm.
how skinny he was and how much weight he lost. But that's just part of the game, you know. You gotta be able to compete with the other people who are also cutting down weight. So you can't be at your walk around weight and competing at that because you'll get out muscled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to the police academy, that's one thing at the end.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like looks so sick and skinny
Yeah.
because all you're doing is working out.
Yeah.
And you should, well, they teach us about nutrition,
Mhm.
but you should be eating way more than you're used
Mhm.
to keep up that weight. But
Exactly.
your body's so depleted of energy. You're like, I eat later, and then later turns into March to tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Like that was because like I'm in the military as well, and when I went
Mm,
to basic training, you know, I definitely lost a little bit of weight, but like all the working out, all of that stuff, like you have to be able to keep up nutritionally because
mm,
if you don't, you know, you'll get sick and you won't be able to compete at your highest level.
mm.
Yeah.
So, you talked a lot about your parents and your upbringing.
Mhm.
Were education and wrestling, I guess you say, forced upon you, or it was like you naturally developed into it?
I mean, I wouldn't I feel like it's a mix of both
Hmm.
because you know, my parents harped on education so much when I was young,
Hmm.
so it was kind of one of those things that I just grew up kind of, I guess, focusing on.
Yeah.
Same way with sports,
Hmm.
to where it was like I wanted to play sports, but they kind of taught me how you have to be disciplined with it. That
Yeah.
it's not always just for fun. It's about like working hard at the thing to get better,
Yeah.
and I've kind of carried that with everything in my life. So
Yeah.
that's where all my beliefs come from. It's like if you want to get better at something, you have to constantly work and obsess over it, even when you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's cool having those parents. You could say it was a tough love, but
Yeah.
my dad was a drill sergeant in the
Oh,
army,
okay. Yeah.
so it was like
That
now, like when I go through, you could say quote unquote hardships. I'm
yeah.
like that wasn't really that hard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure your dad, had you doing push-ups and
Oh,
stuff when you were younger.
yep.
Yeah.
I was PTing.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was doing runs. It was nuts.
Yep. I had to deal with all those drill sergeants when I was at basic training, so I can only imagine what it was like, you know. It
Yeah.
is tough love though, because they want to see you succeed, but they know it's not success isn't through, you know, easy things,
Yeah.
you know?
So studying and sports could take a lot out of your time. Is there anything you did like on your off time, like for you to like, I guess you could say relax or chill?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I played video games a lot.
Mm,
I also liked, researching about stocks and stuff like that. Yeah, those are like the main two things: video games, investing, hanging out with friends, who I was on the sports team with, doing things outside of sports with them.
mm,
That builds team bonding and all that. But yeah, it was I definitely had enough free time to do like what I wanted to do and still get a good experience throughout school and high school.
mm,
And it was really just having that balance between like your free time and, hard work time.
mm.
And that's I think that's very important.
Yeah. So that junior and senior year, you're getting ready for like SATs,
Mhm.
college. That you were education focused, but you also had that entrepreneur bug.
Mhm.
Was there any, I guess, back and forth within your mindset of like, I don't want to go to college, I want to start businesses, or
Yeah. They're I still have that, feeling today cuz I'm in
okay,
school now and it's like I know I have to get an education cuz it's a good backup plan, I guess you
yeah,
can say.
or
But
foundation,
sometimes I'm like if I wasn't going to school right now, I would have more time to focus on this and then in turn make more money. But, I know when I'm, 40, 50 years old and I look back on it that I'm going to be happy that I got, somewhat of a college experience. Even though like while I'm at school, I'm even like I might not work a job while I'm at school, but it's either I'm studying or I'm working on the business stuff. And this whole like past 2 semesters of college have been that way to where it's like I'm constantly focused on school, business, and the gym. And those are like the only three things that I really put my time on. And it's like I probably should have a better balance,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but sometimes, I'm young, I have all this energy and it's like I'm going to try to put it to good use rather than just going out and partying and drinking with my friends and stuff like that. But,
yeah. Cool. So senior year of high school,
mhm.
um, what college were you focused on, or it was like I'm just trying to get into college?
So my senior year of high school, it was weird because I knew that I was going into the military, so I
Gotcha.
was going to have to miss a semester of like my very first semester of school when everybody else started like to go to
Okay.
college because during that like summertime I was away in
Oh, so
for
you didn't even enjoy your high school
yeah,
senior
no,
summer?
like literally my senior summer, I think I had like a few weeks and then I went straight to basic training
Wow.
from there. So, it was good when I got back
Mhm.
because I had like the winter break, but yeah, I knew that I wanted to go to Rutgers in New Brunswick.
Okay.
And then I like my main goal was to get into there.
Nice.
And then I wanted to study finance as a major and then minor in marketing, which is what I'm doing now, and it's enjoyable. There's a few classes that I have to take that suck, but
Mhm.
that's just part of the process.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, did your brother? So I know you said he's 4 years older than you. Did
Mhm.
he have a big play in you joining the military, or it was
He did, yeah. So he did college ROTC
okay?
at Johns Hopkins, and he loved it. So I don't do ROTC now in college,
Mhm.
but I was in ROTC in high school, like JRTC,
Okay.
and I enjoyed it, and I was just really thinking because I was like the benefits with it are great.
Mhm.
I'm gonna somewhat enjoy it, which I still do enjoy it. So I was kind of like, this seems like a no-brainer for me to join because I know I'm gonna get the benefits. I know like I have the free college, all that stuff, the
Mhm.
GI Bill. But yeah, my parents were really like, they were like, you should definitely do it because
Okay.
it's like they could tell that it was one of those things that I was gonna like, and even when I would try to fight back against that,
Mhm.
they always have been right with like kind of guiding me to do what to do,
Yeah.
and because they can see it from an outside view and with all of their life experience, they can be like, you should definitely do that because I know you're going to like it, and it has great, benefits attached to it.
Yeah. Are you allowed to say? I was gonna say for that high school kid
Mhm.
thinking about the decisions of going, not going,
Mhm.
to college, or do the military route, not military route. What are some like I guess tips you would help that person make the right decision?
Yeah, I mean, if see, it's funny because I think it's one of those things where it can help out everybody because even if you're a high school kid and you might have not have had the greatest upbringing or like the greatest parents in the world, the military will give you that structure in life and that
Mm,
discipline. And it's like, if you already like that, then it's meant for you. Like,
yeah.
if you like having the structured day, where you go through a certain amount of activities a day and that's what you do, and you can listen, you can follow directions very well, then it's a no-brainer for you. But if you struggle doing that
Hmm.
and you want to do something with your life, then you should also definitely join as well because that's going to teach you and give you the tools that you need to get that outcome in your life of success.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's it like? One thing you know now that you wish you would have known before basic training.
Phew. I'm trying to think. I mean, I would definitely say be prepared to, not have communication with the outside world if you're going
Okay.
to go to basic training. That was one of my biggest struggles because it was just because like having my phone was so important to me,
Mm,
and if I like without having that for like those like 6 months
hmm.
or whatever I was away, that was like such a huge like that hit me like a brick.
Wow.
Like while I was away because I was like, I can't talk to anybody, I can't talk to my friends, I can't talk to my parents for like however many months I have left of this. And then when I first got there, I was just like, I can't believe that I'm going to be going through this for like the next like 6 months of my
Yeah.
life. But it went by quick,
Okay.
looking back on it, it was a great time. I met so many friends there who I still, catch up to this day, who are from all over the country, people from all the way from right in Philadelphia
Hmm.
all the way out to California.
Oh wow.
So, you meet a ton of people, you meet a ton of good people, and you learn a lot about yourself in that time because you don't have that like phone distraction. So it's kind of a blessing and a
Yeah.
curse in a way. But yeah, that really was just like one of those things where I was like, I can't believe I'm not gonna have my phone. Like that was nuts in my opinion. And
Yeah.
even when I got there for the first 2 weeks, it still took me time to get used to that.
Okay.
So
Did
yeah.
you go through like any type of withdrawal? Like what were you feeling? Like,
It was like just not like because when you first get there, you don't know anybody.
hmm,
So it's like I really don't have a choice except to get to know the people who I'm here with.
yeah.
And you kind of get that withdrawal from all the people you're used to talking to
Hmm.
every day while you're at home.
Yeah.
So it's like it puts you in such an uncomfortable spot. and then you have to learn how to navigate that to kind of make the time while you're there better for yourself.
Mm,
Yeah.
cool. What do you do in the army?
I'm a human resources specialist, so it's like I do a lot of like personnel tracking and
Okay.
like do a lot of Excel spreadsheet stuff. It's desk work,
Okay.
but that's kind of what I enjoy anyways.
Mhm.
So it's right up my alley, and I'm happy I got that job. And you still get to do cool stuff all the time. So you know,
That's cool.
yeah.
How do you balance the business, the military, and are you commuting to Rutgers, New Brunswick?
No,
Okay.
yeah, I live up there during the semester.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not going back and forth.
No, yeah.
Okay.
So because if I did, it would be like an hour and a half drive every
Yeah.
day, and
S-
that would suck.
Yeah.
But in terms of balance, like I think work life balance is very important. But at the end of the day, I think that's one of the sacrifices that you probably are going to have to make
Mhm.
if you want to do a lot and you want to have a lot going on, especially if you want to make money in a business.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing that I've learned is you have to be willing to sacrifice a lot,
Mhm.
like everything, like hanging out with friends, going out partying, like having significant others. Like a lot of that stuff kind of goes away naturally because you become so honed in on your goal.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then you add the military in that, and then you add school into that, and it's like I already don't have a lot of time just with the business.
Mhm.
Now I have these other two things going on,
Yeah.
and it's like I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with it. And
Okay.
it it's one of those things that it'll pay off in the end,
Yeah.
but during the moment it sucks. It was the same way with sports, like especially with wrestling, like you have to live that sport
Mhm.
even during the off season. You still have to go out and compete. You still have to go to practices. You still have to, cut the weight. So it's kind of something that I've always been around, so that helped a little bit, but yeah, the balance is one of those things that I try not to focus on as much anymore
Mhm.
because it's like I know what I want. And
Gotcha.
and I have this goal that I'm hell bent on achieving.
Mhm.
So it's like if I, have to sacrifice this, then I'm going to if it's going to help me get to where I want to go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rutgers, New Brunswick, and you say your degree's in finance.
Yes,
What
finance
made you
major.
like pick finance?
Just like always loving investing. It
Okay.
was just one of those things where I was like, you know, I would love to be, somebody's, financial
Mm,
manager if the business doesn't work out and all that
yeah.
stuff. So it's like I kind of, it was just I know I like investing. I know I like talking about money. I know I like dealing with money. So I'm going to go do this.
Okay.
And yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. The only classes that I've had to take that I didn't really like were accounting,
Okay.
but other than that, I've enjoyed all of the classes that I've had to take for that business degree and, that are finance specialized.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, how many more years you got?
Technically 2.5.
Okay.
But if I catch up on that semester
Mhm.
that I missed for the military, then it'll just be 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me 6 years to get a 4-year degree. So,
Really?
oh man.
How come?
So I went to school to party.
Okay.
Like it was my group of friends. A lot of people didn't go to college,
Mhm.
so it was like, all right, I'm gonna apply to college. If I get in, I get in.
Yeah.
So first, I didn't. I was like general, undeclared. So
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. Then I was taking classes, and then I was this party, that party.
Mhm.
Then it was like, I should be studying, but I'm not studying.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So, 6 years later, I have like 12 credits that don't even apply to my
Really?
degree.
So
Yeah.
do you regret like going to school and partying a lot, or do you think it was one
No.
of the so you had a blast
Uh,
while you were there?
I'm friends with those people like
Okay.
till this day. Like I feel like I wish I would have found that balance of school and partying,
Mhm.
but I'm like I don't want to say social butterfly, I'm like a social dragonfly.
Yeah.
So I'm
You
just
like to
like,
talk to people.
yeah, out meeting people.
Yeah.
So like my resources now, I feel like are 10 times a 10 times more of an investment than school was.
Okay.
School gets you into like certain jobs because
Mhm.
they just want to see you, I guess, you're motivated, you could start something and you could finish something.
Mhm.
Like they don't really care about the background. Like I'm sure a bank wants to see you finances,
Mhm.
but I was physical education, so it's like,
Yeah.
hey, he got a degree, he's good with people, he could probably teach a course here and there. But towards the end, it was like student teaching. I was like, yeah, this teaching dynamic and uh the youth today. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I could do this.
Yeah.
So I got into law enforcement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, yeah, so you think that like the networking that you were able to do there is more important than the degree you
Oh,
got yourself?
uh, in a nice way. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, if someone called me right now and they needed something, I know a person
Mhm.
that can assist them.
See, yeah, I mean, people always say, your network is your net worth. So,
Amen.
yeah, so I don't have any rebuttal to that. I mean,
Yeah,
your network's important because, sometimes the connections that you make will help you get get that success if that's
yeah,
what you want in life.
yeah. The only thing I wish I would had is someone that I guess graduated prior to me
Mhm.
and was sort of like guiding me.
Mhm.
Like one of my favorite what is it thinking of? You say reference is bumpers in bowling.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't have those bumpers, so they're always you going into the gutter, going
Mhm.
the wrong route, making all these mistakes. If you have these bumpers, you just go left, yo, you're going the wrong way. Bump you this way, they'll
Mhm.
bump you that way. So me, I was just in the gutter.
Yeah.
I was hopping out the gutter, going in the
I
gutter.
mean, I feel like that's where you learn the most though.
Yeah,
Is when,
yeah,
things get tough and you find yourself in a situation where you're like, "How did I end up in this?" And then you gotta find your way out, you know?
yep,
That's important.
yeah. Um, so how's school going now?
Yeah, it's going well. I mean, I get decent grades. I'm
Mhm.
not, like, top of my class or
Yeah,
anything like that, but,
sure. Rutgers is competition.
yeah, there's a lot of, smart students at Rutgers, especially in the business field, but
Yeah, Rowan's a growing school, but
Mhm.
I had friends that went to Rutgers, and on the weekends, once in a while, I would go up there, and they had like clickers to show they were in class, and I'm like, that's a lot of people to be in a class
Yeah.
where you gotta use a clicker. But allegedly, some people would like take multiple clickers.
Yeah, and then say that they like do the attendance for their friends.
Yeah.
People still do that. Now it's
Okay.
just on the computer to where you have to sign on to something and like put in
Okay.
a code, and then
Gotcha.
it's like from there they'll have you type in your name, but like usually like if you don't feel like going to class, your friends can just send you the code, and
Allegedly.
then and yeah, allegedly. Obviously, I would never skip class or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
but and then your friends send you the code, and then you just sign on, and it says you're there for the day, and you don't have to go.
Cool.
But
Um. So, what do you do now outside of the military, school, and your business?
I mean, I guess,
Or
like
you just
me.
goal oriented? You're like no
Yeah,
fun, no
I'm
play.
pretty locked in right now with
Okay.
everything, but me, Kate, and Jimmy, who are all at the office together, and
Hmm.
JP, we find stuff to do together that kind of can take our mind off of it every once in a while because, when you're dealing with clients and all this stuff,
Yeah.
there's stress involved because you wanna give your clients the best possible experience that you can.
Hmm.
Everything has to be 5 star. So you really put the stress on yourself, especially running a small operation. You don't have all these employees that you can delegate tasks to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we try to find things to do together where it's like we can just take our mind off of it for a couple hours or so, or even
Gotcha.
or even for a day. Like one time we went to the beach. It was a great time. We got to relax. Debrief. Just talk about whatever
Hmm.
and not have to talk about business.
Gotcha.
And that's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So if anybody listening can find a group of people who they can hustle with
Hmm.
but then also enjoy their time with,
Yeah.
if you can manage not having too much fun and staying focused but then having fun when you need it so you don't get burnt out, that's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like having that group of people who are just you can rely on, you can depend on for anything. If things go bad, you can come up together and find a solution. That's super important.
Yep.
I'm starting to realize that now. So,
Yeah. One of my mentors, he says, stay around the fire.
hmm
Once you stay around the fire, it can't go out. So having those people that, yo, you messing up, don't take that day off,
hmm
and when on those lazy days, they're the ones that ignite you to get back to
yeah,
going to work.
because you're not gonna feel like coming to work every day and putting the time in, and especially running a business, everything is based on input because the whole operation runs on you. So it's not like you can show up and just like slack off
Hmm.
because you are the driving force of this thing. So it's like you have to show up and perform even on the days that you're not gonna feel like doing that.
Yeah. Before we get into your business now, you said you started a multiple that failed.
hmm
What were like a couple of those or one of those that?
I've tried, drop shipping because that
Okay.
was popular when I was in high school. I tried
Okay.
that in high school.
For like people that don't know what like that term means, what's drop shipping?
So it's essentially, buying products in bulk,
Okay.
maybe from somewhere like from China or something like that,
Okay.
so you get it for cheaper.
Like the Alibaba type of thing?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then you sell that on like your own store. So you build a store,
Okay.
you run ads for it, and then, people who are you can run social media ads too showing off your product,
Okay.
and then from there people can click on your store link and then buy it. Like usually
Gotcha.
it's ran through like Shopify if
Okay.
you might have heard of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind
What
of how
was
it
one of
works.
your products you tried to sell?
I've sold everything from like stupid gadgets like shower heads to
Okay.
like even like cabinets, desks, things like that. I've tried everything.
Okay.
I've succeeded in a couple things,
Uh-huh.
others not so much,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those things where it was like I know this isn't long term, but I'm just
Yeah.
doing it as like a side hustle for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have someone introduce you to that, or you were just Googling ways to make money, or
Yeah, it was one of those things where I kind of just like stumbled upon it myself, and like
okay.
me and my friends used to try to do that stuff. And then we also used to do affiliate marketing to where you would promote other companies' products and
Okay.
they would pay you a commission for it. So you
Gotcha.
would run ads for them.
Okay.
And then from there, they would pay you that commission if you
Oh
got if
wow.
you got that sale from your affiliate link. I tried day trading. That's not really a business, but
Yeah, it's a way to make money.
yeah, being in the stocks, I've tried that, didn't work out, but yeah, I've tried all kinds of
Yeah.
things with
Are
the
you
wor
still into stocks and crypto?
Yeah, I invest. I was in crypto about a year ago.
Okay.
I'm not right now, but I'm looking to get back into it
Okay.
once the markets kind of died down a little bit.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm still heavily into stocks, which is like my main form of investment.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, my neighbor, he's been asking me for over a year to invest in the XRP.
yeah,
So I'm
that's a
like,
good one.
he's like,
That's a
you
good
gotta
one.
invest, you gotta invest. I was like, dude, I don't. I know Bitcoin went crazy,
Hmm.
but I'm still a little nervous.
Yeah.
So he's been asking me, and then so I put like $500 into
Hmm.
XRP. So we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
I know people that are like dumping money
Yeah,
into
I
it.
used to be in XRP as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. It's like the big three. You have like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then XRP are like the
Okay.
main ones that people invest in terms of crypto. So
Cool.
yeah.
So you had let's say not failing, but unsuccessful businesses.
Mhm.
Um, was there anything else that you tried that didn't work out?
I mean, in terms of business,
Mhm.
no, but in terms of life, I've had failed relationships. I've,
Mhm.
lost friends just over like stupid petty stuff.
Yeah.
So, those are important experiences to have too,
Mhm.
because you can kind of reflect on yourself to where it's like, I've done this wrong and I've done this right. So the next time, I get put in this position,
Yeah.
now I know what to do.
Mhm.
So yeah, I failed at tons of things. I mean, failure is important because if you're not failing, like you're not trying.
Yeah.
So it's like I'd rather try and fail than not trying at all and not getting any sort of experience, I guess,
Yeah.
is a way to put it.
What were the I guess the key factors in the friendships you lost? Like I think communication is like one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, it's definitely communication and it's getting hung up on things that don't matter in the long term because a
Mhm.
lot of people, butt heads or fight over stuff that isn't even going to matter 5 years from now.
Mhm.
So I'm starting to realize is like think of everything in terms of the long term
Mhm.
because that's what's important because if you're fighting over one of your friends, messing with you or like stealing something from you as a joke, like, that stupid stuff like that will ruin friendships. And it's
Yeah.
like you got to learn how to forgive people. You got to learn how to, solve those problems in a professional way
Yeah.
because that's important with work, business, everything.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Were I guess did those friendship heal or there were those things that you said, I gotta leave you alone.
Yeah, there's some friendships that, I've gone through tough stuff with before, and then, there's ones where I was like, I feel like this isn't worth it for me to continue being friends with this person or whatever. But
Mhm.
usually I can tend to be a pretty forgiving person, which sometimes hurts you and sometimes helps you because, sometimes you forgive somebody and they screw you over again,
Yeah.
or you forgive them and then you're friends with them for the rest of your life. You
Mhm.
never know.
Yeah.
So I try to always give people the benefit of the doubt because I think holding grudges isn't something that people should do. You should always try to work things out with people. That's a
Yeah.
that's a huge belief of mine.
Those unexpected friends are like those. I have a lot of friends, but
Hmm.
those unexpected ones are like my favorite one because
Yeah.
you're like life just aligns you. Like I
Hmm.
don't, some friends I have, I don't know how we met.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, who introduced? And you just don't know. You just been friends for 10 plus years, and you're
You
like,
meet them in a random place,
yeah,
somewhere, and
I'm,
you're like,
I'm
then you
glad
become
God
best
put,
friends.
yeah, I'm glad God put you in my life.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, let's see. So starting a business,
Mhm.
what are things someone should think about, or what did you think about? Like, I'm sure you didn't say, "Hey, I want to do this,"
Mhm.
but like, what are those key factors that you think about before starting something?
The number one realization in business that you're gonna come upon really quick is that even if you don't have a lot of money or like investors when you're starting,
Mm-hmm.
you have another form of payment, which is your time.
Mm,
So, you really, really, really need to focus your time on you need to think about the time as like the wallet that you're paying, that you're like it's the method of payment to get the thing that you want to get,
I like that.
especially if you don't have money, because when you're starting out, all you have is time and you have nothing to lose. So you need to take up the all the amount of hours that you possibly can in one day,
Mm-hmm.
and think, okay, I'm going to break this all down, and I'm going to be like, this is what I'm going to do at this time. This is what I'm going to do at this time, and just go down the entire day. And then you need to make a schedule for things that are mandatory that you need to do, and have it organized by priority
Mm-hmm.
to get the most amount of input. Cuz input is everything. With business, it's just an equation. Input is equal to output.
Mm,
Same as like y equals mx plus b or whatever,
yeah.
You what you put in has some relation to what you're going to get out. So it's like you can't you have to learn how to use your time wisely in every single second of the day, because if you don't, then you're hurting yourself in the long run, because your output is going to be lower of what you get out of the business.
I love that. I
Yeah.
like that time. Oh man, that's a good bar right there.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Thank you.
that's a good one. Um, so I like to one of my favorite, like it's sort of like not inappropriate, but it's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Mhm.
So that person that's trying to figure out what to, uh how their time should be and focus on that one thing. Is this you deciding, or do you have like a mentor or someone guiding you to be like, you need to focus on this more than this, or you just figured it out?
I mean, I have a business partner that's super OCD, who is, insanely good at, keeping the organizational aspect of our business like to a T,
Okay.
because sometimes like I have a very creative mindset, so I can go off the rails
Mm.
about ideas or certain things, and then
Yeah.
that distracts you from the work that's in front of you. Like, one of the number one terms that I learned while I was in the military was have a 25-meter target,
Okay.
because when you have to go and qualify to get like your marksman badge or whatever
Hmm.
for shooting, you have to zero the weapon in
Okay.
on that 25-meter target. So if you don't do that at first, then you're going to go and try to shoot for the things that are 300 meters out, and you're going to go way right. So
Mm.
it's like you got to hone in the 25-meter target of like, what why I'm not going to worry about what's going to be happening 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now. I'm going to be focused on what I have today and what I have going on today, and then once I can do that, then I focus on the things that are further out in the distance, so I can kind of navigate the business in the way that I want it to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Your resources, like, is this college teaching you these things, or this is Google, or
This is a lot of YouTube, and a
okay,
lot of, because
YouTube
you can
University?
exactly, like, YouTube is the number one way to learn, especially if you want to start a business,
Hmm.
and you can find out as much information that people would pay $100,000 for in any industry right on YouTube for free.
Okay.
And people don't do that. And honestly, I don't know why, but like, I've learned everything in terms of business from YouTube. Like, college has helped a little bit,
Hmm.
but that's helped out more with like life experiences and like
Mm.
learning things about life.
Yeah.
But in terms of growing a business, you can, like, Alex Hormozy is like a great person to watch on YouTube, because
Okay.
he's done $100 million a year in business.
Yeah.
So he talks about things that seem simple, that you wouldn't realize. Business is simple. It's
Hmm.
not like this complicated thing to where it's like, you need to know everything. You just need to know the few things about business that are going to help it grow.
Yeah.
And the best way to learn that is YouTube. And then when you like find somebody else who's done it before, that information means a lot more than to somebody who's just talking out of their ASS because it's like because they're trustworthy. They have the proof to back everything up. So that's the number one way to learn
Yeah.
is YouTube.
I think one of the simplest thing is find what someone needs
Hmm.
and then sell it to them.
Exactly. Solve people's problems,
Yep.
especially rich people's problems. You want to make a lot of money. Rich people pay a lot,
Okay.
so they have a ton of buying power. And if you can solve because the more you niche down in business, the more money you're gonna make
Mhm.
because the the smaller of the idea that you get, the more of an expertise you become in that area. So
Mm.
I'm gonna help these people in this industry solve this problem by doing this. That's a quick breakdown of like how you should kind of frame your business, and then from there you find the tools that you need to solve that very minute problem
Mhm.
that most people in that industry have. And then
Mm.
from there, that's how you expand to a huge clientele base because once you have that problem, you're like, I know how to solve that. I can solve that for you in a week. If you pay me, two, three, $4,000, I'll build you a software that fixes that issue immediately for you so you don't have to think about it anymore.
Wow.
That's what rich people want.
Okay.
Is they don't want to deal with those headache problems, and if you can give them that delivery of something that they don't have to think about how you're building it. They don't care what you're doing
Mhm.
as long as you solve that problem. If you can give them that, they will pay you a ton of money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So, like, the business you're in now, what is the name of the business?
So the business name is Thrivvest.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I kind of said, I think mentioned in the beginning, but like we'll build websites that guarantee more leads. We'll run ads for companies. We'll help them with like all of their social media data.
Mhm.
We'll build like CRM systems, which helps manage all of their customers. CRM stands for customer relationship management.
Okay.
If anybody doesn't know that, but like the thing that I love about now is with everything with AI, it's so easy to build like a fully custom platform for a business.
Mhm.
So if a business comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm having these 5 problems that I cannot figure out how to solve," I can build something custom for them
Mm.
that solves those problems for them, and I can put it all in one area, so they don't have to buy a ton of different
Yeah.
things because then they have a ton of different subscriptions to all these different services. But where if it's like if a business comes to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm struggling with this," I was like, "Okay, I'll solve it for you and I'll put it all in one place."
Mm.
That's what I like about most what we do is because, it not only does it take their headache off, but they can task somebody else with tracking all of like, for example, if a company runs Google ads,
Mhm.
I can build an AI workflow that takes all of their Google ad data
Okay.
and then from there say, okay, this is what's working, this is what's not, this is what you need to do more of.
Okay.
And then you can do that with social media. You can do that with everything. You can do that with your salespeople, with their salespeople. Like there's a limitless amount of ideas.
Yeah. I see
So
you're getting excited about this topic.
yeah.
I have a couple questions. What's one is for the people that are listening and watching, what is AI?
So AI is artificial intelligence. So most people listening to this have probably heard of ChatGPT before.
Mhm. I love
Yeah,
ChatGPT. I pay for the
it's the
$25 a month
greatest thing
one.
in the world. So basically, what AI runs off of is data and algorithms.
Okay.
So, for example, if you go into ChatGPT
Mhm.
and you type in a question,
Yep.
ChatGPT is just going to use the data that it has and the algorithms that it has stored in like a database, in like a data center somewhere, wherever in the US.
Okay.
And then from there, it's going to decide what word or like like down to the letter, what it should do next.
Okay.
And then that's where you get that answer to your question from ChatGPT.
Mhm.
If that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
That's the best way that I can explain it. But
Okay.
it's basically like a brain
Mhm.
that can think about a bunch of different things at the same time, but you can also store basically on an in unlimited amount of data in it
Yeah.
because it's stronger than the human brain,
Mhm.
I guess is a way to
Yeah.
put it.
I feel like it takes away like emotion,
Mhm.
um,
Exactly.
doubt. What about this and what about that? You ask what it wants, and
Mhm.
then it's gonna give
Yeah,
it to you.
exactly, and that's why people love it so much is because it's like a better version of Google in a
Okay.
way.
W-
Because
We're good. Oh, okay.
but yeah, it's just I just think of it as a better version of Google to where you can ask it any question in the world and it's going to help you, fix that issue. That's why
Cool.
people love ChatGPT because once again, it solves that problem.
Yeah.
It solves problems.
Do you charge for a consultation or? How does that work if someone wants to
If
get?
somebody wants a free consultation, I mean, yeah, like I just said, it's
Yeah, yeah.
free,
Okay.
and the only thing we really charge on is building the software itself. So like if like I love to like take a deep dive into
Mhm.
somebody's business and kind of see how things run,
Yeah.
because once I get that knowledge, not only does that help me learn more about their industry,
Okay.
but it helps me see like the individual problems that they have,
Mhm.
and then once you start to build more and more clients, then you see, okay, I'm seeing a pattern of this problem in this industry for all of these people.
Yeah.
So then you say, okay, I know that these are the most important things that people struggle with. So I'm
Mhm.
going to focus my best and use all of my ability to solve specifically these things.
Cool. I see a lot of people, I guess, like you said, YouTube University is so much information.
Hmm.
Do you mind role playing like a problem a company may have now and how your company helps that company get
Yeah.
on track?
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
So
cool.
like, for example, right, in the let's say, home service industry. So
Like plumbing,
businesses, yeah,
electrician.
so like
Okay.
HVAC,
Okay.
roofing, all of that stuff.
Yep.
All of those businesses are run off of leads.
Okay.
So for people who don't know what leads are people who have an interest in what you do.
Gotcha.
So people who might need a new roof on their house.
It's like those Facebook random pop-ups
Hmm.
that are you interested in dog training? And
Yeah,
you're
no,
like,
exactly.
how
Like
did I
that's
get to dog
Yeah,
training?
but like that's and then like they Facebook has these crazy engine like AI search engines that know who
Mm.
to show those ads to.
Okay.
But so in that specific industry, the home service industry, it's all run off of leads. So
Gotcha.
if you have a roofing business that you don't have any leads, well then you're not making any money because you don't have
Mm.
any people to sell to. So the wrong thing to do for them would be to go out and start cold calling random people because you're gonna have to call thousands of people
Yeah.
until you get one sale.
Mhm.
So what you could do is, for example, if we build a website for them, just to give a like a simplistic version,
Yeah.
let's say then you run Google ads for that website. So Google knows who to show those ads to.
Mhm.
And then so does Facebook. So from there, you can not only show your service to the people who specifically need it at this moment,
Mhm.
but then you can put something like a form that they can fill out right on the website that's like a contact us form.
Mm.
And then once that person fills out that form, it'll get stored in the AI database that we build for that company.
Okay.
And then we can also do something where like AI will automatically email them being like, "Hey, thank you for showing interest. This is what we offer. We're excited to work with you, whatever." And then you can manage, okay, now I know that this person's interested. Now I need to build a system that helps this person go from interested to a sale for
Okay.
that roofing company. And then we would build another system for that. And
Mm.
then let's say that, they're struggling, they're spending too much money on marketing, but they're not getting enough leads from their marketing.
Mhm.
Then we would go in and say, okay, here's all the data that we have. We're going to run that through AI. AI is going to be like, okay, this is what we know that is making you the most money per dollar that you spend on this marketing.
Okay.
And then from there, it's going to be like, okay, now start putting more money towards this, and then maybe make a few tweaks to the ad itself.
Okay.
And then now they're getting more and more leads, and then you already have the processes built to get those people from a warm lead to a sale and then
Okay.
to that transaction.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Before you said so ChatGPT takes information that's somewhere else
Mhm.
and sends it to you.
Mhm.
When you say we're using AI for these leads, using AI for this email, where's that information coming from? Is it a
So
business providing that information to you
so
or
yeah, so like for example, if a business comes to me and they're like, "Hey, I want to build an AI system for my business," I'm
okay.
going to be like, "Okay, well, we need this data from you."
Gotcha.
And then so we go and put that into the AI itself as well as a prompt to say, "Hey, this is the data that you have access to. This is what you need to use to decide what to do next." And then
Mm,
from there, the AI is going to be like, "Okay, now that I have this data, now I know what to do when a lead comes in through the website form."
gotcha.
Yeah, that's kind of
Cool.
how it works.
And creating this what would you say it's called? Creating this
It's it's like I want to say AI, it's almost like an AI infrastructure for a
okay.
business, but like to get more specific, I would consider it like an AI employee or an AI agent
Mm,
because it has access to certain tools that your business uses. So like it can have access to your Gmail and then send
gotcha.
emails on your behalf so you don't have
So
to.
it's like a secretary just
Yes,
working
essentially.
whether you want it or not. It's just
Yeah.
gonna keep working. Cool.
Yes.
Is it a one-time build or do you have to like do maintenance to
Yeah,
it?
so it costs money for us to use these AI workflows
Mhm.
per month. So depending on how many times like the company uses our thing,
Gotcha.
we get charged for that. So then we have to charge the companies like a monthly retainer
Okay.
to continue to use the product or software.
Cool.
So there's like a setup fee and then there's like a monthly retainer for whatever we build for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, how'd you get into this? Is it YouTube University again,
Yeah,
or
it was mainly YouTube.
okay?
I knew that AI was the hot topic right now. Like I was building like stuff on ChatGPT that would like I would upload all of my class info
Hmm.
for college in there, and then it would help me
Okay.
like create outlines for essays and like study
Nice.
for tests and stuff like that. So it kind of started with that, and then the technology keeps getting better and better and better. So now you have, AI that can make decisions and do things like send emails and all that
Hmm.
stuff. So now I'm like, this is brilliant
Yeah.
because this solves a huge problem for business owners where, they might have to pay, 10 people 5 grand a month to do something like this.
And you
And if
run a
they,
company with two people.
yeah, and then now you can have a team of AI agents is what they're called, or AI
Okay.
AI employees that, can handle your marketing, can handle your secretary work, can handle managing your finances and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've been seeing I think it's Instagram ads with those little people. It's like 15 little people.
Mhm.
Is that when you say agent?
Similar. Very
Gotcha.
similar, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, the only difference between, like, them and us is that we just build that, but custom for businesses.
Mm.
Because that's what the thing I don't like about those companies, and, like, me and my business partner have, subscribed to, like, AI scheduling
Mhm.
apps where you pay monthly for it, and the problem is that it's good in a sense, but, they're all these software companies are trying to sell to a huge range of people.
Mhm.
And there's a term out there to where it's like if you sell to everybody, you sell to nobody. Because you
Mm.
can't if you're trying to sell to everyone, you can't solve a specific problem.
Mhm.
And businesses want custom solutions
Yeah.
specifically made for them. So we fill that gap to where it's like you could go subscribe to this software and it'll help, but it's not meant for your industry.
Mhm.
It's not meant for your business, if
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like home services is still in that old school mentality of
Yes.
door to door.
Mhm.
My business has been around for 50 plus years.
Mhm.
We don't need this new technology.
Mhm.
So if a client is thinking about reaching out to you, what are some I guess what are some things or tips that you say to them? Be like, no, this is gonna skyrocket your business from what it is or from what it is now to what it could be.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, the two most important things in business is that you save time and money. So you want to spend less and you want to be able to get more done.
Mm.
So it's like my solutions that are made custom for somebody's business specifically do that.
Mm.
And then like the AI industry is expanding like at a very huge rate right now.
Okay.
So like there's a Harvard study out there to where it's like I think it's like 80% of the businesses that decide not to use AI within the next like 5 to 10 years will either go through like a struggle or
Hmm.
either fail.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
You said
think
5 to 10?
no, so like 80%
Okay.
of those businesses that choose not to use AI
Okay.
will struggle to keep up with the businesses that are using AI.
Okay.
So it's one of those things to where if it's like if you're old school, you're no school. So like you got to keep up with technology
Yeah.
because the people who are using it are going to be able to make more money than you. And
Yeah.
the whole reason that people get into business is to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
And and a lot of business owners feel like they're pressed for time. They have all this pressure on themselves, but it's because they don't have the right systems.
Yeah.
And they struggle to keep up with their clients. They struggle to for their employees working well. And that's a huge headache in the industry, especially home services net right
Mhm.
now, to where it's people try to rely too much on word of mouth, but your clients are going to get stolen by the people who are using AI
Yeah.
eventually because now that they're using AI, their business is saving more time and money, which means they can offer a better product, offer better marketing, and eventually get more sales and take those clients that you have away from you.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you said if you don't keep up with technology, you're gonna get left behind. The first companies I think of is like Blockbuster and Netflix.
Hmm.
How Blockbuster could have easily been Netflix, but
Yeah.
they're like, now we're stuck on VHSs and
Exactly.
DVDs,
Now I think there's like one Blockbuster
like,
location
and it's
left
in
in the United
Alaska or
States.
something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you got to keep up with the times, and it's like I get a lot of people in the home service industry, especially they're older.
Mhm.
They've done the same thing the same way. For example, like you said, for 20, maybe to 40 years. So it's like they might not want to grow
Mhm.
as much. So then those people are going to end up getting phased out, and then
Mm.
the new young guys who start these new companies and with all this crazy technology and everything, they're the ones that are going to get phased in as those
Mhm.
people are getting phased out. That's
Cool.
my kind of like vision on how the industry is going to change.
Yeah. It sounds like your business is in a state of prosper and flourish. Was there any I guess headaches, hiccups in getting to where you're at now?
I mean, the hardest headache was when we first came up with the idea of wanting to do something with AI, is that there's so much
Mhm.
that we could do. So the biggest headache came from, like I said before, is trying to make something for everybody.
Mm.
But when you're starting with no funding, you don't have investors, and all you have is that wallet of time.
Yeah.
You got to get specific because your head is going to spin if it's just two people trying to solve this huge problem that you don't have the resources for.
Mhm.
So the best way to build that capital when you're starting off is to get specific with the problem that you solve,
Mm.
and then from there you can get more broad as you go on and as you start making more money. So that's the thing is like all these people think that they need investors for their business, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't. Like you can bootstrap your business, which means use your own money to start it,
Yeah.
but the process might take a little bit longer and you might not be able to do as much because
Mhm.
if I've got a $100 million investment for my business, I could hire a 100-person operation and pay everybody,
Yeah.
and then obviously 100 people working 8 hours a day on a thing is better than two people
Yeah.
working 8 hours a day or however
Mhm.
much time you work in a day. So
Cool.
yeah.
So is your niche home services?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna yeah, we're gonna niche down, especially with like the contracting industry because
Okay.
contractors make a ton of money,
Yeah.
even relying based off of word of mouth.
Mhm.
So, for example, if a company wants to go from $1.5 million a year in annual recurring revenue to five,
Mhm.
you don't need to make too much change in that business to get there
Okay.
because they have a ton of capital, they make a ton of money off their jobs, and they can make all this money with no marketing, no systems, no AI integration. And then if you go in and say, "Hey, this is what we can do for you to get you to $5 million a year," and you do it for them, they don't somebody who's making $1.5 million a year for their business, 2 to 5 grand might not seem like a lot of money to them
Yeah.
because and then they just write it off anyways. So it's like those are the best people to sell to is because they have the most room for improvement if they just get the operations right.
Gotcha.
That's my belief on why I want to niche down in that industry is because there's a ton of upside potential for
Okay.
those companies.
Do you have a background in that niche to create this, or like what gives you like the I guess the motivation to be like this is going to be our niche and this is the people we're going to help?
Like I never had a background in it, I would say. I mean, I did like golf course maintenance, which is
Mhm.
landscaping. So I guess like maybe like a little bit in similar in a way,
Yeah.
but not like really like that similar.
Okay.
But you know, I think that that industry is the industry that everybody forgets about, but they're
Mm.
also like the most important
Yeah.
industry in America. Everybody needs a roof on their house. Everybody needs an AC unit.
Yeah.
So like I kind of believe that like these are the most important companies in the United States for a reason is because everybody needs their service.
Mm.
So that's kind of why I chose that
Okay.
for.
Cool. So let's get this couple last wrap this up with a couple questions.
Mhm.
What do you see What do you know about AI now?
Mhm.
What do you see the future of AI?
I think it's going to be, integrated in our phones,
Mhm.
especially everybody uses their phones. There's probably going to be new crazy technology or like some sort of like glasses or
Mhm.
something like those meta
Oh
glasses where
yeah,
you can take the
yeah,
videos.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be like a little holographic screen in there to where it's
Wow.
like you can take notes on conversations you're having with people and stuff like that. I think that's the
That's
future of it.
it's gonna be like what's that Dragon Ball Z with the
Yeah.
little glass
Yeah,
thing
no,
and
exactly. Like that's how it's gonna be, with AI because the people who are gonna make the most money from it are gonna be the people who can solve something for a huge group of people that helps them with their everyday life.
Mm,
Same way with Instagram and Facebook, communicate like social media.
yeah.
You help people connect with each other better. Same thing with LinkedIn, but it's for the everyday person. It's for the average Joe. So
Okay.
that's kind of why I think that that's the future of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Second question is gonna be how'd you choose your business partner? Like, what are the qualities you look in when you say, "Hey, we're gonna do this"?
This is a good one. I mean, so me and Jimmy Hennifer, my business partner, we used to wrestle together in high school,
Okay.
and we used to go to wrestling camps, and we used to like fight all the time. Like, so he's one of those guys that I know that like I can literally get into a fist fight with, and we'll be fine the next day, grinding because we've done that before, and it's like we've just brushed it off like it's no issue. So I know I can butt heads with him, and we can go at it sometimes, but we always come to like an agreed upon solution with
Okay.
any issue that we always have. So I can trust him wholeheartedly with everything. He's always been reliable, so I have no issue worrying about anything with him.
Cool.
Yeah.
And lastly, I guess it's gonna be like a closing remark for that home services business
Mhm.
that is questioning your business.
Mhm.
Why should they choose your company to help them grow?
I believe everything. So, even though I own a business and I have no boss, my clients are my bosses. If I'm
Mm,
not if I'm not giving them what they need, then I'm not making money.
hmm.
So, everything is about the five-star experience for them. I have to deliver them as much as I possibly can. I have to give them more value with what I offer than what they're paying for. And as
Cool.
long as I can stick with that, I'm sure, people will be happy with what I give.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I won't. We good? Oh, I thought that was camera. Um, and for those people that want to use your services, how can they reach you and Jimmy?
Yeah, so you can text us on Instagram. It's at Thrivvest, or you can email us as well. It's Thrivvest, which is spelled THRIVVEST at gmail.com. Or go to our website. It's spelled the same way, THRIVVEST.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for being on the
Yes,
show.
thank you.
No
I
problem. Showing these people about AI and the future of it.
thank you. I really appreciate it. It was a great time.
Cool. We see you on the next one.